Hello there, Commonwealth from here, and be sure to leave a like and subscribe, aiming for 3000 likes as the number 3 is present a lot in this video. Also, why 20 facts? Since fact number 1 is the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is the 20th canon Zelda game or installment in the official timeline. Since 2017 and Breath of the Wild the 19th Zelda game, there's simply been no new The Legend of Zelda game or title confirmed in the timeline. Yes, we've had 2D remakes, 3D remasters, and even a new Hyrule Warriors on the Switch, but not a new The Legend of Zelda game. Fact number 2, the E3 2019 first look and reveal teaser filled with Ocarina of Time recalls. In other words, the beginning of Ganondorf, the timeline split, and the never-ending conflict for the Triforce and Hyrule with the same being. So what do we specifically have here? The first unofficial meeting of the Trifecta, the hero of time approaching Princess Zelda in Hyrule Castle's courtyard where she's spying on the Gerudo King Ganondorf. She makes a turn towards Link and agrees to ally together as they both approach the window where Ganondorf appears in front of them. The Gerudo King then makes a sinister turn towards Link and Zelda, and Link makes a turn towards Zelda. There is even more Ocarina hidden, but that is covered behind fact number 3. The second teaser from E3 2021, which was filled with Skyward Sword recreations, specifically the beginning of the Curse, the Master Sword, and once again the Trinity. So let's take it in chronological order as it transpires in Skyward Sword. First Zelda's fall and separation from Link, then the hero of the sky after pulling the goddess sword following her down from Skyloft in his characteristic skydiving pose, only that in Breath of the Wild 2, Link is falling towards an island that looks surprisingly similar to Skyloft. Upon reaching the surface in Skyward Sword, Link has a vision where he is attacked by malice, specifically from the imprisoned Naomiii who in his last moments dissolve with this pose seen from Ganondorf in Breath of the Wild 2. Even so, this pose is a dual reference to both Skyward Sword and Ocarina of Time, as Ganondorf made the same pose as he tried to crush Link and Zelda under the rubble of his castle in Ocarina of Time. There's also more connecting the 3 titles, a floating sky island entity held up by malice like dark sorcery, the opposite of the goddess levitating Skyloft, and Isle of the Goddess, which brings us to fact number 4, the meaning of Zelda's fall. We have now seen that Link and Princess Zelda are separated on the ground in Breath of the Wild 2, just like the first hero of the sky and the first Zelda were separated in Skyward Sword. A fall into the unknown for Princess Zelda. Even so, in Skyward Sword, Zelda was not immediately captured by Naomii's servants and sacrificed, but instead introduced to an old lady and from the fire sanctuary Impa, who from then on protected the mortal reincarnated goddess along her personal quest. Thus, Princess Zelda falling down into the darkness in Breath of the Wild 2 doesn't necessarily mean that she has been captured by Ganondorf, but that Link and Zelda might have quests of their own in separate layers. Link in the sky and Zelda even deeper underground. And since we're on the topic of a sky quest, fact number 5, the 2022 delay announcement, or if you prefer, launch timing update to spring 2023. Once again soaked in Skyward Sword callbacks, but this time the Master Sword. The blade of the goddess pulled in the sky, both the 3 flames forged into the Master Sword on the surface, finally blessed to reach its final form in the past in the temple of the goddess by her mortal reincarnation. In Breath of the Wild 2, it might go the other way around. After being pulled in Breath of the Wild and its surface, the sword is in the sequel broken on the ground and most likely reforged in the sky, since Link pulls out the damaged sword in a very specific way as if presenting it towards the golden light. It seems that this might just be a golden flame used gradually to reforge the blade, but there's far more tied to antiquity in the sequel than just Link's sword. So fact number 6, the origins of Link's new tunic and sandals. Skyward Sword's pre-demise human civilization was clearly inspired by ancient Greece and Rome, and the same inspiration was found in the ancient ruins in Breath of the Wild, representing the earliest Hylian civilization. The Link's hair is far more a reference to the enemy of the proud ancestors of Greece and Italy, the Northern barbarians. Even so, there are Eastern references in this otherwise Mediterranean Mare Nostrum set, namely the dragon depicted on his new tunic with multiple Triforces. So fact number 7, the dragons and their home up in the sky. No other tribe worshipped the spiritual dragons of Hyrule but the missing in Breath of the Wild Faron tribe, and thus the optional dragons in Breath of the Wild could become mandatory in the sequel. But why? Since they are the guardians of the 3 golden goddesses who make sure that the outer ring of Hyrule is free from Ganon's malice. And the trinity of the golden goddesses is found throughout this game, which brings us to number 8, the 3 layers, Hell, Earth and Heaven, underground, surface and sky, one of malice, death or demons, one of wisdom, mortal life and humanoid species, and one of courage, mortal life and spirits, Din, Nehru and Furore. And only the last of these 3 layers is truly divine with the power to reforge the Master Sword. Fact number 9, heavenly divine golden trees. To forge the Master Sword in Skyward Sword, divine powers were required. specifically, as we already mentioned, the 3 flames of the 3 golden goddesses. Only in Skyward Sword, instead of starting with the flame of Din, we started with Furore in Farron, then Nehru in Lanayru, and finally Din in Eldin. In the sequel, it is more likely that we'll be using a golden flame, but what is it infused with? Essence of the golden trees, based on the Japanese divine ginkgo trees found in Shinto shrines, and even director Hidemaru Fujibayashi's favorite castle, Himeji. One of the importance of the immortal golden ginkgo tree is 200 million year tree order and importance to Japanese society in our Breath of the Wild 2 Master Sword secret video in the end card. We, however, are getting over to 2 other Japanese religious symbols. Fact number 10, the Torii gates and the lotus flowers found next to them. Torii are the entrance gates to Shinto shrines in Japan, or more specifically the boundary that separates the common space from the divine of the kami or gods. The lotus flower on the other hand is a symbol of immortality, as the lotus is immortal, but differs from being in an open or closed position, just like we have seen in Breath of the Wild 2. So most likely, instead of turning from yellow to blue, these gates might have their flowers opening by activating them. Fitting, as immortal spirits and spiritual energy is a key theme to the sequel. Even so, there's something even more crucial to Breath of the Wild 2's inspiration than this. 11. Studio Ghibli. The sequel has thus far been filled with references from the earliest movies of Japan's most legendary animation studio. And by that I mean Castle in the Sky and Princess Mononoke. We all know how much the Zelda team loves Japanese animations, but the references couldn't be more clear in the sequel. Floating islands and the castle being a clear reference to Castle in the Sky. Meanwhile, Link's corrupted hand and spiritual replacement is an even more clear reference to Princess Mononoke, and specifically Prince Ashitaka than Breath of the Wild's reveal trailer was at E3 2014. But the concept of the sky in the sequel predates that presentation by several years. Fact 12. The Unused Sky Ambition from Skyward Sword as stated by producer Aonuma in the making of Breath of the Wild.
あのゲームってこう拠点がこう限られている領域にこう上からこうね飛んで降りるんですけど、実はその領域と領域の間のつながってる部分に本当は僕は行きたかったのにそこに行けなかったっていうのね。
Needless to say, this sequel is the chance to complete the spiritual trilogy of the Master Sword, the spirit within the blade, and the hero's struggle against the miser's curse by realizing this gameplay concept. Directly connected sky islands without loading screens between them and without a for the most part empty sky. These priorities might also explain our fact number 13, the longest wait for a new Zelda release and title reveal in the history of the franchise. Over 6 years from one release to the next one. Add to that 3+ years for the title reveal since the first reveal of the game. Also, as of the upload day of this video, it has been over 150 days since the previous Breath of the Wild 2 news update. Which would not be as bad if it wasn't for... Fact 14, the removed title reveal during the E3 2021 Nintendo Direct. This trailer was the perfect teaser filled with all the information that you need. You get a hint of what happened to Ganondorf and Princess Zelda, Link's corrupted and new spiritual arm, and its time-bending abilities, combined and altered enemies and open-air mini-bosses, the Sky Islands, Hyrule Castle's new resting place, and even the AIM 2022 release year. Naturally, the last one did not turn into fruition, but right before it we had a very odd 20 seconds of nothing but a shot of Hyrule Castle towering over the ruins of central Hyrule, much like when the title of Breath of the Wild was revealed in front of the dueling peaks in 2016. 5-year difference, it would have been perfect, but then it seems that almost at the last minute the title was removed and instead the teaser didn't have a single mention or logo of The Legend of Zelda. Fact 15, the only Zelda game set in the same Hyrule, in the same time period, with the same overworld and the same Link and Zelda, set shortly after the previous game. No surprise here, as the sequel is a result of a final DLC pack for Breath of the Wild which grew out of proportions, and with it the following adventure is getting the full overhaul or at least adding to the existing features. Number 16, a theme of time rather than physics. The more we look at it and the possibilities the Hand of Time creates, the more we realize that time is the key gameplay gimmick with the physics-bending Sheikah Slate gone, or with Princess Zelda underground, which also brings us to another possible solution. Fact 17, the actual dark sorcery of the Zonai warriors or barbarians, which besides the war paint might also have been time manipulation, making them dangerous foes who in the distant past could bend any battle to their will. Fact number 18, a world that might take inspiration from one of the most immersive open-world games in the 6 years after Breath of the Wild's release, namely Red Dead Redemption 2, since the Zelda team has played this masterpiece during their work with the sequel to Breath of the Wild, a game that will certainly be bigger than Red Dead Redemption 2's 72 square kilometers, seeing that Breath of the Wild's map was already 72 square kilometers big without the sky or underground. Well, that, and maybe include some elements from Elden Ring. Fact number 19, the battle for the actual Triforce Every fight against the humanoid Ganondorf has been for the Triforce, the same as it was for the source of Ganondorf's hatred, Demise, the ultimate villain who might make a return in one form or another in this game. Despite this being the 4th battle against Ganondorf, this is not Ganondorf's 4th entry in the Zelda series, not counting the many Ganons in the Downfall timeline. As fact number 20 is... The first fact stated, this is the 20th Zelda game, but this is only the 5th time that Ganondorf is a key villain in it. Yes, we have only battled Ganondorfs in 3 prior games, but he had a 4th presence as a reincarnated different Ganondorf in 4 Swords Adventures. Another game like the 18th game in the series Triforce Heroes that is overlooked when counting the canon Zelda titles. And the reason for this might be that we didn't see him prior to his transformation to Ganon. Hence, Ganondorf has with this entry once again been present in the quarter of canon The Legend of Zelda games. And that's it, 20 perhaps unknown facts to you regarding the 20th Zelda game. Hopefully, we'll get the title of the game soon and more facts that we can share under a new name, or maybe even facts that you can share in the comments down below. Also, be sure to leave a like, subscribe and press that notification bell to not miss any of our upcoming videos on the 20th Zelda game, including our Inside Breath of the Wild 2 gameplay series. Last, a big thanks to you for watching and to all our patreon.com/Comerolm patrons, and in particular our role producer Charles Shush. You rock, and please enjoy one or both of these 2 awesome videos.